Yes, guys. I will now start my walking video, starting from the above section of the deck of Gun Hill Signal Station overlooking St. George Valley. This is the Barbados section here. We sell drinks and so on. And this is where you can have your breakfast or lunch. And this is the deck again that I showed you guys before. And view of the two cannons here. Another view of the St. George Valley and the south and west of the island as well. This is the bathroom section, washroom facilities. And we are now walking towards the signal station itself. This is the Gun Hill signal station. Here are some more cannons. And I look back at the pathway from whence I came. And this is the lion sculpture, which is just below the signal station. The sign says, "Welcome to Gun Hill Signal Station, one of the 6 signal stations erected in the first 2 decades of the 19th century for the dual purposes of defense, both internal and external, as well as for communication with centers of command and control throughout Barbados. Erection of this signal station followed the 1860 Slave Rebellion. The other signal stations included Moncrief in St. Philip, Cotton Tower in St. Joseph, Granite Hall and Dover Fort in St. Peter, and Highgate in St. Michael. Only a few months later. It should be noted that by the last quarter of the 19th century, there were other locations capable of receiving and sending signals, and these included Queen's House, Needham's Point, Government House, the Central Police Station, and Commercial Hall in Bridgetown. Look at the signal station. We'll go this way first. Look at the cannon here again. Some more views of the St. George Valley. You're looking across the lion sculpture, which is just below here, which was carved by an officer at this signal station, which name was Captain Henry Wilkinson. It was carved in 1868. The lion sculpture is also part of the Gun Hill project. It is just below the Gun Hill signal station. You can see all of the Walker's Terrace, Walker's St. George, and all onto the hill, all onto the Glebe and Charles Road Bridge. You can see all of the Salters, Belgally, Salters on the border of St. George and St. Michael. Here we're looking at the farm of the Masonic Lodge. This is the Masonic Lodge that was built in Salters in 2007. It was built to replace all the lodges in Barbados, so this is where all the lodges meet now. And the lodges sold most of their buildings or leased them out. This is where all the Masons in Barbados meet now. You can see all of the valley plantation in St. George, where you will get your ground provisions such as headers, potatoes, and yams, and sweet potatoes, and so on. Okay, you see all of the Dash Valley in St. George, which is the road leading to the St. George Secondary School. We can see the St. George Secondary School in Constant Road, St. George. It was established in 1972. We can see the St. George Parish Church, which is in Cleveland, St. George. It is the second oldest place of worship in Barbados, built in 1641 and rebuilt in 1784. It is more Georgian than Gothic. It has the round windows instead of the Gothic pointed arch windows. St. George Parish Church is one of the tourist attractions here in Barbados. It's often open, even though a lot of the churches in Barbados no longer open because of the COVID-19 pandemic. This church still opens daily. Well, I haven't seen it open lately, but it's always open. On Gun Hill Road. You can see all to the south of the island. You can see all across to the airport in Christchurch, which is southeast. Where you will see those big white balls on the opposite side of the airport in the place called Hopefield. That is where the airport, just opposite the airport, Hopefield and Charnock, the two districts opposite the airport, where those two big round balls, white round balls, are located. You can see all to the southeastern end now of Barbados in the Parish of St. Philip. We will come across the mangrove, Wallberry Woods, Gemswick, and Foul Bay, all in the Parish of St. Philip. Gemswick original name was Penny Hole, but then it got changed to Gemswick. And Wallberry Woods is just before Gemswick. And you can see Foul Bay, also another popular beach in St. Philip. St. Philip is on the southeastern end of the island, southeastern coast. So if you're looking southeastern, you can see the Casa Grande Hotel, which is at Mangrove in St. Philip. And again, we're looking at the Christchurch where the airport is. The airport is in close proximity to Christchurch, to St. Philip, but it is in the parish of Christchurch. You can see all of the airport. Where those big white balls are again. The Grand Island International Airport, which was once originally Sewell Airport, and then it was renamed Grand Island International Airport when it moved to its present site in 1976. You can see all the Boarding Hall in Christchurch. Boarding Hall is in St. George, but it's on the border of Christchurch. You can see all at the Coral Ridge, Christchurch, and Fair Program, where the guy who owns Chafet Restaurant lives. His name is Haluk, Asad John Haluk. He's a Barbadian. He's a Trinidadian national, but he set up his restaurants in Barbados. All of them, they're exclusive to Barbados. But I think his son is running the business now, and they live in Fair Pilgrim in Christchurch. You can see Butley's Sugar Factory again, which closed its doors in 2002. Butley's Sugar Factory is in St. George, and it's also located in the St. George Valley. But I think the transloading station for Butley still works, even though the factory no longer operates. Only one sugar factory in Barbados remaining, and that is Portvale, which is on the border of St. Thomas and St. James to the northwestern end of the island. In a place called Blowers in St. James, along Highway 2A. All here the St. George Valley. And we can see we're heading looking in the westerly direction now. You can see the Hilton Hotel, which is situated on the southwest coast of Barbados, in the parish of St. Michael, just outside of Bridgetown, on the southeastern end of Bridgetown, in the Garrison area. The original Hilton Hotel was demolished in 1999 and rebuilt to this modern structure. You can see all into the Bridgetown port and the water harbor. You can see the Garrison port as well. see all into the port. You can see the Roberts Manufacturing, which is our lower estate in St. George. Roberts Manufacturing and lower estate. And next door to Roberts Manufacturing, the Sun Tours bus company, a bus company that operates tour buses and tours around the island. Their company is situated in lower estate, St. George, which is just next door to Roberts Manufacturing. And here are some cannons. Here again. And this is supposed to be some reservoir or something. I'm not sure what it is. We're looking westernly now into the Warrens area. We can see the tall buildings into the Warrens business and commercial area, which is a city away from the city. This is Warrens that we're looking at now. And we can see Lear's side. Lear's is in close proximity to Warrens. The Lear's Kenwood Road area, which is on the border of St. Thomas and St. Michael. Lear's is on the border of St. Thomas and St. Michael, and it's still a close proximity to St. George as well. We can see the Chefette warehouse, where all the Chefette foods are manufactured. At Chef Foods, which is at Lear's St. Michael. And we can see the Dwellings Department Store and Walker's World at Kenwood, St. Michael. Kenwood is on the border of St. Thomas and St. Michael. Just after you pass Lear's, heading towards Jackson, you can see all through there. You can see all the Bees recycling plant at King Garden, St. Thomas. You can see all the Grandview Heights and Shop Hill, St. Thomas. And we can see the former Operates Sugar Factory, which later became the West Indies Records Limited. I used to produce records for reggae music, ska music, calypso music, rocksteady music, soca music, and local spools music. And there's another Barbados packaging industries. Operates is on the border of St. Thomas and St. George. You can see the chimney for Operates Plantation. You can see all at the Ashford Long Road in St. Thomas. The road taking the Harrison Scale and West Mahogany, and we can see all at the Hotel. And the rain is falling out that side now. Hotel in St. Thomas, we can see now from here. Hotel Ashford Road, headed towards Harrison's Cave and West Mahogany in the parish of St. Thomas. So St. Thomas and St. George are the two landlocked parishes here on the island, best referred to as the heart of Barbados or the central uplands of Barbados. This is another cannon here. Another look at the signal station once again. The sign says the Barbados National Trust, building of historic interest. Gun Hill Signal Station was opened by the Right Honorable John Michael Jeffrey Manningham Adams, Queen's Counsel, Member of Parliament. Tom Adams, his name was Tom Adams to many Barbadians, but his name was John Michael Jeffrey Manningham Adams. But we in Barbados used to refer to him as Tom Adams, but not me, because I wasn't born yet. But many Barbadians refer to him as Tom Adams, who was Barbados' second Prime Minister. And it was restored by Barbados National Trust. In the room again where all the weapons were. This is a weapon that was used. This is with the St. Philip Battalion. And here the frame showing the restoration of the Gun Hill Signal Station in 1982. Here's the military belt buckle. And here is a view of the St. George Valley from the window. And here is a map of Barbados, land on the side from 1728. And this is the genesis. This is the board giving the genesis of Signal Station and Lookout in the context of the Atlantic Ocean. of the Atlantic world, the concept of lookouts, towers, and signal stations to communicate or raise an alarm of a pending threat, either from the sea or land, is centuries old. It is said that in 1588, when the Spanish Armada was spotted in the English Channel, hundreds of bonfires were lit on hilltops across the country to alert the English of that threat. By the early 19th century, when Britain and its colonies were engaged in a global war with revolutionary and later Napoleonic France, a new invention in coastal defense became part of this system of alerts. The Martello Towers. Though Barbados never had any Martello Towers, it did possess a prominent lookout tower which was constructed as a part of St. Anne's Fort and served as a lookout for large areas of the island's south and west coasts. Lookouts and vantage points in Barbados, a defensive necessity. By the late 17th century, Barbados was considered to be one of England's most wealthy Atlantic world colonies. This, combined with the island's geographical location, the most easterly in the Caribbean, made Barbados both an attractive target for England's European rivals, as well as strategically vital for England to maintain as a possession. To protect this asset, a culture of defense quickly evolved in Barbados, which featured numerous fortifications being erected along the island's west coast, from Maycott's Bay in the north to Oistins in the south. Many of these fortifications were built on elevated sections of the island, which allowed those manning the forts a panoramic view of the sea and coastline of the island. The militia created to defend the island from foreign attack and slave rebellions were compelled by law to alert the island on the appearance of ships off the coast. Further, any person who saw at least 7 ships were also legally obliged to alert the nearest town and the island and the entire island. If 12 ships were sighted throughout the 17th, 18th, and 19th century, alarms in Barbados were raised through the use of cannon fire from the colony's fortifications. Another plaque showing the history. Evidently we all know, but I read some for you. The Victoria Cross, the military history of Barbados. An album, a frame showing old photos of military in Barbados. Another view of the St.George Valley again. This is Prince Edward planting a Sigium malacynth tree at Gun Hill Signal Station in St. George on Sunday, March 1st, 1987. The kitchen section now. Some more panoramic views again, looking straight across the sugar factory again, and the St. George Valley, and to the south of the island in the parish of Parachurch. And here are some utensils used at the signal station, such as the kerosene lamp, the iron, the jugging board, and the cups and plate and bowls and jars. All these things was used in the kitchen stove, all-time stove. Thanks for watching and have a blessed evening.